Hi, my name is Shams. I'm in grade 5D. Today, I'm going to tell you how coronavirus helps climate action. Coronavirus helps climate action by stopping people from going out and less cars polluting the air. Another reason why coronavirus is helping the environment is because less factories are working, because less people are going to go out and buy fancy clothes or do something extra. They are only going to try and stay safe in their homes. What's climate action, you ask? Climate action is taking action to help the earth by not polluting the air or land and trying to make it less. Climate action is a SDG goal, which is one of the goals the government has put that we need to reach by 2030. Keep reading to find out more about how climate action and how the coronavirus is helping it. If you are reading this and you are asking, what's coronavirus? Well, coronavirus is a virus that spreads really quickly and it killed almost 300,000 people and over 4.02 million people have got it. It also made a giant pandemic, so people now have to stay in their homes and can't go out, only for urgent things. Here are some of the common symptoms of coronavirus: fever, tiredness, and dry coughs. Some patients also have aches, pains, sore throat, runny nose, and diarrhea. These symptoms are usually mild and come gradually. The coronavirus started because people in China were eating bats and snakes. It affected the world because people are dying because of it, and some people are poor, so they can't get support to help them when they get the virus. The coronavirus shock is severe, even compared to the great financial crisis in 2007-8. But the bright side is that it helped the world get way less pollutant than it already was. The UAE government has been sending aid to different countries, cleaning the roads every single day, and you can't leave your house in Dubai only with government permission. And the maximum 3 people in a car, but now they let one family maximum. The Chinese government has cancelled flights, can't go out, and they stopped eating bats and snakes. Government in America has been making people go out wearing masks, take hand sanitizer with you everywhere you go, and wear gloves too. SDGs are goals the government has put for us to reach by 2030. There are 17 SDG goals. The SDG I have been focusing on is climate action. Climate action is taking urgent action to save the earth from dying. Here are some of the targets of climate action: stopping air pollution, stopping water pollution, and saving the animals from getting extinct. If the SDG was achieved, the effect it will have on the world is that we will live longer, have more food to eat, have more water to drink, have fresher air to breathe, and just have a better life to live. Here I will show you 2 innovations linked to climate action. The 2 innovations are the Avani I am not plastic bag and the ocean cleanup. The Avani biodegradable bags help the world because they feel so similar to plastic. They look exactly like it, but they are not plastic. And the ocean cleanup cleans the ocean without anyone working. It just cleans it by itself. These innovations might be used because they are not that known by people. So it's a 50% chance they will use them because some of the government only know them. These innovations help reach the SDG because the Havani biodegradable bag don't harm the environment, and we can use them instead of all plastic bags. And if we use the ocean cleanup, it will clean the ocean up. In conclusion, now you know that what coronavirus is, what SDGs are, and what the government responses to the coronavirus. Pope Francis once said, God gave us earth for us to till and to keep in a good and balanced way. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, pollution is not the solution. Bye.
Hi, my name is Saeed, and today I'm going to be talking about how coronavirus affected the CDGs. Coronavirus and how it affected the CDGs. We're trying to make less pollution by 2030. We need to stop destroying the environment because it's polluting our world. And now coronavirus is preventing us humans from seeing our friends and so you might be wondering, how can we help? What is coronavirus? Coronavirus is a very dangerous virus. It's a disease that appears to have originated in Wuhan seafood market, where wild animals, including marmots, birds, rabbits, bats, and even snakes, are traded illegally. Coronavirus is known to jump from animals to humans. Though that the first people infected with the disease, a group of primarily made up the smugglers from the seafood market to the coronavirus. The UAE has put us in lockdown only to go out for certain things, like grocery shopping. You can't go out past 10 p.m. or you'll get fined. Also, the UAE has said when you go out, you need to wear a mask. A fact. The Australian government has made an island for sick people. Do you believe that? To help, we can donate some money or make a website for people to donate to us, then donate to sick people. And what can you do? Wash hands, sanitize, wear mask, gloves, etc. What is CDG? It's a Sustainable Development Goals. CDGs are also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by all United Nations members states in 2015 as a universal call to action and to poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace. I'm focusing on climate action. CDG 13, we're trying to get climate out of the way because we want no climate by 2030. That's our goal. Less pollution, less gas, less petrol, less cars. That's we're kind of getting it extinct. Invasions. Here are some invasions linked to CDG 13. Factories and cars. It has affected the world by causing pollution and harming our animals. In the process, no, because they would fear causing another pandemic. because they'll get rid of pollution, stop harming animals. Conclusion. Overall, I talked about CDG 13, which is climate action. Coronavirus, invasions, and CDGs. If you want to join to help save our planet, do what's all above what I read, and thank you all for listening, and remember to always wash your hands.
Hi, I'm Noor and Faisi. Today I'm going to talk about what is coronavirus. In case of the new illness of the world is coronavirus. People are suffering in China and all around the world. 198 people died in UAE because of the coronavirus. 18,198 people are still ill but alive in UAE, and 4,804 people recovered. Luckily, not too many people died in UAE, but other countries like USA, more than 80,574 people died, but not this much, 941 more. Let's find out what the virus exactly is. Coronavirus, COVID-19, means a new strain of the coronavirus which may cause illness, animals or humans. In humans, several coronaviruses are known to cause infections ranging from the common cold to more severe disease. First identified in symptoms in Wuhan, China, and a few months later, the coronavirus has spread all around the world, and everyone has to stay at home during the pandemic. You may listen to the alarm to your devices means time out of the day, but if people did not listen to instructions, the police will take action in front of you. The UAE government has closed all the public places and set the time for the movement of traffic and individuals. Other countries have done the same, but not in the same timing. It might be different than UAE because every country has a different time. We can help the government by following the instructions. SDG of the Collection 17 goals designed to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. The SDGs set in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly and intended to be achieved by the year 2030 are part of the UN resolution, the 2030 agenda. We are focusing on climate action. SDG 13. Build knowledge and capacity to meet climate change. Improve human capacity on climate change. If we do this by 2030, our planet won't have pollution. Innovations like waste shark, vertical farms, and edible water bubbles. They affect the world up because there will be less rubbish left over the place like oceans. Also, people use less plastic bottles and plastic inks. These innovations will be used even more than after pandemic as people care more about places they live in. The climate will be having less waste and plastic and it will help our SDG. Wash your hands 20 seconds and wear your mask when you go to public places. Wear gloves if you touch something in case, and sneeze with the tissue or with your elbow. Follow the government's instructions. Thank you for listening. We can beat Corona if we want to.
Hello, my name is Ariana and I'm from the class 5C, and today I'm going to be talking about the coronavirus pandemic and how it's helping climate action. Did you know that about 4.1 million people worldwide have the coronavirus, and that about 1 million people have recovered? Unluckily though, about 282,000 people have died from the coronavirus. All these facts were about the coronavirus. What is it, you ask? Well, keep listening to find out. Coronavirus is a recently discovered virus belonging to the coronavirus family. A family of viruses which contains different kinds of flus. In fact, the actual name for the coronavirus is COVID-19. The reason why it's called this is because it was discovered in the late 2019. We don't really know what caused the coronavirus pandemic to start, but scientists do have proof that it was some animal. Many people think it might have been a bat, but we don't really know. The coronavirus pandemic has actually affected the Earth itself very well. In fact, in India, usually in big cities such as New Delhi. The cities are covered in a blanket of smog. But this year, the skies have been very clear. Well, because of this pandemic, many governments around the world have taken action. Here are three examples of the things that the United Arab Emirates have done. Number one, they have shut down everything except pharmacies, petrol stations, and groceries. Number two, everyone has been working from home, or at least most people. And number three, all the schools in the entire countries have been shut down and have been using online learning. Now there are many other governments, so here are three examples of the things that the Italian government has done to help with the coronavirus. Number one, they have put the entire country in lockdown. Number two, they have shut down everything except necessities, which are pharmacies, petrol stations, and groceries. Number three, most of the schools in the country have been using online learning. If not most, all. We can help ourselves by not going outside and listening to the government. Now, if we do go outside, which is for emergencies only, we have to wear a mask and gloves, and when we come home, we have to wash our hands for a minimum of 20 seconds. Now let's talk about the SDG goals. First things first, what are the SDG goals? Well, the SDG goals are goals put up by the United Nations in 2015, and we are aiming to reach them by 2030. Now here are a few examples of SDG goals. Climate action, no poverty, good health and well-being, and quality education. I'm focusing on climate action. Climate action focuses on ending global things such as global warming and stopping the climate from changing. There are a few innovations that we can use during quarantine or after quarantine and after the pandemic is done to help with climate action. Number one, solar-powered control lights. Number two, electric cars. And number three, normal solar powers. These innovations have changed the world by not polluting. Now, how is that linked to climate action, you ask? Climate change is caused by pollution. So if we help by not polluting, it will help, and we can do our part to minimize the pollution in the world and minimize the climate change. The coronavirus is a recently discovered virus coming from a family of viruses which contains different kinds of flus. We can help. We just have to listen to the government and not go outside. If we do go outside, which is for emergencies, we have to wear gloves and a mask. And when we come home, we have to wash our hands for a minimum of 20 seconds. There are 17 SDG goals altogether, which are goals set by the United Nations in 2015, and we are aiming to reach them by 2030. Now remember, you can always make your part, and you can always make the difference.
Hello, my name is Ali, and I'm from 5D. Today I'll be talking about climate action. Did you know that 4.6 million people die from air pollution each year? Air pollution is getting less because people are staying at home during the current pandemic. Less people are using cars and fuel. And because they stay at home because of coronavirus. It has killed a lot of people, but the earth seems to be the only thing benefiting from this worldwide crisis has been fine. We are polluting the world by using cars and burning fossils. Burning fossils makes gas, and gas pollutes the world. And we use cars, and cars use a lot of fuel, and fuel pollutes the world. Keep listening to find out more about my speech. Human cases with one set of symptoms, while some of the earliest known cases had a link to the whole food sale market in Wuhan. Some did not. China shows that we can stop the virus through containment, and the last time corona existed in 2007, it was stopped. The UAE government has closed malls and big stores, only allowing the grocery stores to stay open. People who are caught out after the curfew hours are fined 10,000 dirhams. Other governments are similar, but some governments are closing all stores, some don't. Governments closed airports, the UAE didn't. China and Thailand are one of the only countries who don't have coronavirus anymore. And we can do it too by staying at home, and no one. These are sustainable development goals. There are 17 goals that the world is trying to reach before 2030. Some SDGs are climate change, business, no poverty, zero hunger, and lots others. My chosen SDG is climate action. Climate action means to take action to combat climate change. My targets are to take action a lot and help climate action the world to let the world's air be cleaner. Some innovations related to the coronavirus pandemic is a drone that delivers packages and fast food. The other innovation is to make a big vehicle similar to buses but bigger, so people don't use a lot of cars and it doesn't contain a lot of fuel or petrol. Maybe because there might still be a virus, it will help me achieve my goal and the SDG by cleaning the world. My quote is take action when you can. Thank you for reading my speech. Fun fact. SDG started in 2015. Bonus fact. Coronavirus has 4,500,000 cases. Thank you for listening to my speech. My quote is take action when you can. Thank you for reading my speech. Fun fact. SDGs started in 2015. Bonus fact. Coronavirus has 4,500,000 cases. Confirmed.
Welcome. My name is Mamundo. I'm class 5D. Today, I will tell you how coronavirus is stopping climate change and helping SDG 13, also known as climate action. Corona has killed over 250,000 people at the start of May and infected around 20,000 people on May 7th. Around 66% of the world's population is not infected with coronavirus, and the government are recruiting people to help them find a cure to the disease, and they're recruiting very healthy people that don't have the effects of this disease. Coronavirus had tried to be spread through the sea and the air. That's when the government got scared and started quarantine to protect citizens from getting infected and losing their family members. This thing started from people eating bats and snakes as a combo. It was supposed to be a good combo, but then turned into the deadliest virus ever. And then that all just happened in Wuhan, China. The virus is now in every single country in the world, ready to plan an attack. The UAE government made it so that we can go and get supplies for a limited time, and then we can wait the next day to get even more supplies. The USA government did not allow anyone to exit their homes, and they had to order stuff from online. And stuff from online, they need 2 days to be delivered. So that means that if someone didn't have any supplies, they would have to wait 2 days to get their supplies fully. Goals are a group of 17 goals that if they are reached by 2030,
the world will be a much better and peaceful place. My SDG goal that I'm focusing on is SDG 13, also known as climate action. It is to stop climate change and keep animals in their normal climate. And it's also to bring peace among the animals. No country is not experiencing the dramatic effects of climate change. Global warming is causing strange and bad effects to our climate system, which will make it turn bad. And if we keep doing this and not doing anything about this, the planet will turn into a much worse place and it will turn toxic. Solar panels are panels that get their energy from the sun to light whatever place they are at and charge it and use electricity at day, and then the people could use normal electricity at night. Some people from Michigan State University wanted to replace phone screens with solar screens to help it charge at day and the person using the phone at night, which would make it even better. So that means that no one has to stay on their phone all day. Thank you for listening to my speech. Once said a great man, protecting our future on this planet depends on the conscious evolution of our species. And remember, coronavirus is smart, but our minds are smarter.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I'm going to be talking about coronavirus and SDG 13, which is climate action. Imagine you are at home in the future because you cannot go outside. There would be no going to the mall, hanging out with your friends, or even going to school or work. But that reminds me, did you know that 95% of the air we breathe is actually polluted? But don't worry, because we can take action as soon as possible if we want. If all the people in the world do one part, this goal can be accomplished by 2030. So let's all take action to stop climate change. First, let's talk about the coronavirus. You've probably heard about it because we are all locked up at home. It is a horrible pandemic to people, but it is actually doing the earth really well. There's less ocean and air pollution to the world and because people are not going out. This virus started in Wuhan, China, and people were selling bats and eating them. People didn't feel any symptoms yet, so they just went out. Soon it started spreading all over the world because people were touching each other, like shaking hands or going out with their friends. The most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness, but when it is serious, it can cause loss of breathing or even worse. Now let's talk about what the government has done to keep us safe. The UAE government has given us a curfew, we have to check our temperatures in shops, and we have a lockdown. In France, they're mostly the same, but there's something different, where only one person is allowed or 10 people are allowed in the shops at a time. And they also have to wear masks and gloves. There's lockdown, and the rest is the same. Now let's talk about what we can do to keep safe. Number 1 is to be hygienic. Make sure you wash your hands for 20 seconds every day, 5 times a day. Make sure you bring sanitizer when you go out, and try not to touch your face as much as you can. Secondly is to be safe. Do not go outside that much, only if you need some groceries, and do not hang out with your friends that much. But don't worry, you can after this virus is over. Lastly, wear masks and gloves and try and get your own gloves instead of getting them from for coronavirus. Now let's talk about the SDGs. There are 17 SDGs which cover a wide range of topics. The SDG that I'm focusing on is climate action. This goal needs to be completed by 2030 like all the other SDGs. But what are some of the targets on climate action? Number 1 is pollution. Not just pollution in the seas and forests and stuff, but it's also to the air. And number 2 is saving electricity. If this goal is completed, people will breathe clean air, the Antarctic will not be melted, and there will be no more global warming. There are many innovations that link to the coronavirus pandemic. Like people are not using trains anymore because the smoke will go into the air. So people are asked to ride their bike, walk, or drive electric cars to school. And recycling, which lots of people in the world are still doing. If people use less trains and subways, the air will be less polluted. And if people start recycling, less rubbish will go in the oceans, and it will be better for the environment. If people walk to school, bike to school, or drive electric cars to school in the future, the air will be more clean, and people will exercise more. And for recycling, it can also save energy and is very good for the environment. SDG 13 and all the SDGs have to be achieved by 2030. Make sure you don't forget to wash your hands for 20 seconds 5 times a day. The world will be a better place if SDG 13 climate change will be completed, and so will all the other SDGs. If SDG 13 is completed, people will live happily and live in a cleaner environment. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have a great day, night, evening, or afternoon. Oh, and don't forget to stay home. You are not alone.